Hello, America. We're 5 days away from... Has anybody noticed he sounds like he's on a treadmill all the time every time he's giving a speech? He's always like, hey, let me tell you something else about this country. I don't know if he's just gotten from a jog or what, but anyway, oops. All right, let me tell you, we are 5 days away from the election, and there is nobody who's going to cover it like Fox News. You're going to get all the polls, you know, everybody telling you exactly what's going on, unlike any place else. But tonight I want to focus on why we are voting the way we are voting. Because Americans are not stupid. They get it. It just takes us a while. We have to get kicked in the head once in a while. You know what I mean? It's like with World War II. It's the same thing every time. Every time it's the same thing. You know, everybody, there's a monster growing. Hitler's growing over in Europe, and we're like, okay. After years of it, we're like, okay, wait a minute. What's going on again? And then we just put our pants on and we get the job done. Well, that's what's happening now. America's waking up, and you don't put America back to sleep. We are forced with a choice of two starkly different visions of America. Now, I'm not talking about policy here. I'm talking about you. How do our leaders see you? What is your role in the future of this republic? What do you want it to be? Do you want it to be that you just want to be coddled? Because that's one option. It's simple. You need help. Oh, you can't do it by yourself. Mommy's going to come and push you on the swing at the playground, but not a dangerous swing, because sometimes swings you can get bad boo-boos. Gee, she-beef, really? Yeah. You can't get moving by yourself either. Mommy will be there to push you. Now, that might be helpful when you're 4, but is that where America is now? In some ways, this path is lined with good intentions. But once you get onto the path, it becomes more and more disturbing. The entire premise of the leadership that is based in Washington now is based on the vision of you. And you can't do it by yourself. And you're so stupid. You're so stupid you can't make decisions that affect your life. You need them. Did you hear Mrs. Obama? She was talking about she needs $400 million for food deserts so we can make the right choices and we can have the right food available so we can all have carrots. You know what, Mrs. Obama, would you do me a favor? When you can get your husband to stop smoking in a federal building, then call me. As our president said, it's his agenda that's on the ballot. So it makes sense that the motivation behind that agenda is on the ballot too. Now, we all remember this super classic right out of the president's own mouth. Here it is.
They get better and they cling to guns or religion or antipathy towards people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant sentiment, or anti-trade sentiment.
Yes. You see, in tough times, and this is before the tough times really started to set in, but now, can you imagine? Oh, you can't help yourself. You've got to cling to your magic sky god and your hatred of immigrants and your silly little Second Amendment. Oh, you're just not intelligent enough to realize what you're doing, but that's okay. We're from the government, and we're here to help. The president has surrounded himself with people who view you in exactly the same way. Here's Cass Sunstein, our regulatory czar.
Once we know that people are human and have some Homer Simpson in them, then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them.
Dope! Shouldn't have said that one. This is the progressive mindset. You are incapable of making the right decision. So Cass Sunstein will nudge you, or, I liked his honesty there, manipulate you. But when did they begin to shove you, or worse? The progressive names on the ballot all across America echo the same exact thinking. This is a candidate for governor of Colorado, John Hickenlooper. He was speaking about the Matthew Shepard case and the brutal murder. Listen to this.
I think a couple things. I mean, you know, the tragic death of Matthew Shepard occurred in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. Colorado and Wyoming are very similar. We have some of the same, you know, backwards thinking in the kind of rural western areas you see in, you know, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico.
Well, I was just in Colorado a couple of days ago, and I was up in North Dakota, too, a couple of days ago. I didn't notice that backward thinking there in rural western areas of America. but I guess I'm dead one of them. See, thinking Americans, well, they just wouldn't support violence against those who are different than them, but those in backwards America. This kind of thinking is a pandemic among progressives.